ओम साई राम, ओम साई राम, ओम साई राम। श्री सच्चिदानंद सदगुरु साईनाथ महाराज की जय। श्री सच्चिदानंद सदगुरु साई कर्णानंद महाराज की जय। श्री सच्चिदानंद सदगुरु जगत गुरु बाल युवराज साई नारायण महाराज की जय। साई लीलावती माता की जय। श्री साई सच्चरित्र, chapter 39. Baba's knowledge of Sanskrit, his interpretation of verse from Gita, construction of the Samadhi Mandir. This chapter 39 deals with the Baba's interpretation of a verse from the Bhagavad Gita, as some people believe that Baba had little knowledge of Sanskrit, but by the interpretation of by Nana Sahib Chandorkar's query, Hemadpant refuted a charge in this the chapter number 50, and as it's deal with the same subject matter, it is incorporated in this chapter. Preliminary. Blessed is Shirdi and blessed is the Dwarka Mai, where Sri Sai lived and moved until he took Mahasamadhi. Blessed are the people of the Shirdi whom he obliged and for whom he lived there. Shirdi was a small village first, but it attained importance on account of his contact and became a Tirtha, holy place of pilgrimage. Equally blessed as the women folk of Shirdi, blessed is their whole and undivided faith in him. They sang the glories of Baba while bathing, grinding, pounding, corn, and doing other household work. Baba's interpretation. Nobody believed that Baba knew Sanskrit. One day he surprised all by giving an interpretation of a verse from the Gita to Nana Sahib Chandorkar. A brief account about this matter was written by Mr. B.V. Dev, retired Mamladar, and published in Marathi in Shri Sai Leela magazine, volume 4th. Sputa Vishishya, page 563. Short accounts of the same are also published in Sai Baba, page 36, both by B.V. Narasimhaswamy. Mr. B.V. Dev has also given an English version of this. In this statement dated 27 September 1936 and published on page 66 of Devotees Experiences Part 3 by Narasimha Swami, as Mr. Dev has got his first-hand information about this subject from Nana Sahib himself. Nana Sahib Chandorkar was a good student of Vedanta. He had read the Gita with the commentaries. He fancied that Baba knew nothing of Sanskrit text. So Baba one day pricked the bubble. These were the days before crowds flocked to Baba when Baba had individual meetings at the mosque. With such devotees, Nana was sitting near Baba and massaging his legs and muttering something under his breath. Baba, Nana, what are you mumbling yourself? Nana, I am reciting a shloka. Baba, what shloka? Nana, from Bhagavad Gita. Baba, say it loudly. Nana then recited Bhagavad Gita, 4th 34 verse, which is as follows. Tat vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnana jnanis tattvadarshinaha. Baba, Nana, do you understand it? Nana, yes. Baba, if you do, then tell me its meaning. Nana, it means this: making Shashtanga Namaskar. That is prostration, asking the Guru, serving him, learn with its knowledge is. Then those who have attained the real knowledge of the Sadvastu, Brahma, will give you Upadesha, instruction of knowledge. Baba, Nana, I do not want this sort of collected purport of the whole stanza. Give me each word its grammatical force and meaning. Then Nana explained it word by word. Baba, Nana, is it enough to merely make prostration? Nana, I do not know any other meaning of the word pranipata than making prostration. Baba, what is prashna? Nana, asking questions. Baba, what does prashna means? Nana, the same questioning. Baba, if pariprashna means the same as a prashna, questioner, why did Vyasa add the prefix pari? Was Vyasa off his mind? Nana, I do not know of any other meaning of the word pariprashna. Baba, seva. What's of seva is mean? Nana, just what we are doing to you. Baba, is it enough to render such service? Nana, I do not know what more is significant by the word seva. Baba, in the next line, Upadekshanti te jnanam. Can you read any other word in lieu of jnanam? Nana, yes. What word? Nana, ajnanam. Baba, taking that word instead of jnanam, is any meaning of made out of the verse? Nana, no. Shankara Bhashya gives no such construction. Baba, never mind. If he does not, is there any objection to using the word ajnana? If it gives a better sense? Nana, I do not understand how to construe by placing ajnana in it. Baba, why does Krishna refer Arjuna the Tattvadarshis to do his prostration, interrogation, and cervix? Was not Krishna Tattvadarshi? In fact, Gyan itself? Nana. Yes, he was, but I do not make out why he referred Arjuna to Gyanis. Baba, have you not understood this? Nana was humiliated his pride and was knocked down. Then Baba began to explain. First, it is not enough merely to prostrate before the Gyanis. We must make Sarvasya Sharanagati, complete surrender to the Sadguru. Second, mere questioning is not enough. The question must be made with an improper motive or attitude or to trap the Guru and catch mistakes in the answer, or out of the idle curiosity. It must be earnest with a view to achieve spiritual progress or liberation. Third, Seva is not rendering service with the feeling that one is free to offer or refuse service. One must feel that he is not the master of his body, that the body is a guru's and exists merely to render service to him. If this is done, the Sadguru will show you what the knowledge referred to in the previous stanza is. Nana did not understand what is meant by saying that Guru teaches ajnana. Baba, how is Jnana Upadesh, that is imparting of realization, to be affected? Destroying ignorance is Jnana of verse OV 1396 of the Jnaneshwari commenting on Gita 1866 says removal of ignorance is, O Arjuna, if dream and sleep disappear, you are yourself. It is like that also OB 83 on Gita 5th 16 says, is there anything different or independent in Jnana besides the destruction of ignorance? Expelling darkness means light, destroying duality, dvaitya means non-duality, advitya. Whenever we speak of destroying dvitya, we speak of advitya. Whenever we talk of destroying darkness, we talk of light. If we have to realize the advitya state, the feeling of dvitya in ourselves has to be removed. That is the realization of the advitya. Who can speak of Advaitya while remaining in Dvaitya state? Unless one gets into the state of a non-duality, how can one knows it and realize it? Again, the Shishya disciple, like the Sadguru, is the embodiment of Jnana. The difference between the two lies in the attitude, high realization and unrevived capacity, and Ashwara Yoga, divine powers. The Sadguru is Nirguna, Satchitananda. He has indeed taken human form to elevate mankind, but his real Nirguna nature is not destroyed. Thereby, even a bit, his existence or reality, divine power, and wisdom remain undiminished. The disciple also is in fact of the same Swarupa, but is overlaid by the effect of the sanskara of the innumerable births in the shape of ignorance, which feels his view that he is a Shuddha Chaitanya. See Bhagavad Gita chapter 15th verse. As stated therein, he gets impressions, I am a jiva, a creature, meek and poor. And the Guru has to root out these outshoots of ignorance and has to give upadesh or instruction to the disciple had spellbound for endless generations by the ideas of his being a jiva. The Guru imparts the teachings: you are God, you are a mighty and opulent. And he realizes that he is a God really, the perpetual delusion under which the disciple is laboring, that he is a body, that he is a creature, jiva or ego, that God, Paramatma and the world are different from him, is the ignorance inherited from innumerable past births. From actions based on it, he has derived his joy, sorrows, and mixtures of both to remove his delusion. This error, this rude ignorance, he must start the inquiry. How did the ignorance arise? Where is it? And to show him, that is called the Guru's Upadesh. The following are the instances of Ajnana. First, I am a jiva, creature. Second, I am the body. Third, God, world, and jiva are different. Fourth, I am not God. Fifth, no, not knowing that body is not the soul. Sixth, not knowing that body, the God, world, and jiva are one. Unless these errors are exposed to his view, the disciple cannot learn what is God, jiva, world, body, how they are interrelated, and whether they are different from each other or are one and the same. To teach him these and destroy his ignorance is this instruction in Gyan Ajnana. Why should Gyan be imparted to the Jiva? Upadesh is merely to show him his error and destroy his ignorance. Construction of the Samadhi Mandir. Baba have ever made any fuse about the things, never made any fuse about the things which he wanted to accomplish, but he so skillfully arranged the circumstances that the people were surprised at the slow but sure results attained. The construction of the Samadhi Mandir is an instance. Sriman Bapu Sahib Bhuti, the famous multimillionaire of Nagpur, lived in Shirdi with his family. Once the idea arose in his mind that he should have building of his own there, and sometimes after this, while he was sleeping in the Dakshitwara, he got a vision. Papa appeared in his dream and ordered him to build a vada, the temple. Shama, who was sleeping there, also got a similar vision. When Bapu Sahib awakened, he saw Shama crying and asked the latter as to why he was in tears. The latter replied that in this vision, Baba came to him and ordered distinctly, build the vada with the temple. I shall fulfill the desires of all. On hearing the sweet and the loving words of my Baba, I was overpowered with emotion. My throat was choked, my eyes was overflowing with tears, and I began to cry. Bapu Sahib was surprised to see that both their visions tallied. Being a rich and a capable man, he decided to build a vada there and drew up a plan with Shama Madhav Rao. Kaka Sahib Dikshit also approved of it, and when it was placed before Baba, he also sanctioned it immediately. Then the construction work was duly started, and under the supervision of Shama, the ground floor, the cellar, and the well were completed. Baba, on his way to and from Lendi, also suggested some improvements. Further work was entrusted to Bapu Sahib Jog, and when it was going on, an idea struck Bapu Sahib Bhuti mind that there should be an open space or platform, and in the center the image of a Mullidhar, Lord Krishna with a flute, be installed. He asked Shama to refer this matter to the Baba and get all his consent. The latter asked Baba about this when he was just passing by the Vada. On seeing Shama, Baba gave his consent, saying, after the temple is complete, I will come there to stay. And starting at the Vada, he added, after the Vada is complete, we shall use it and we shall live, move, and play there, embrace each other, and be happy. Then Shama asked Baba whether this was an auspicious time to begin the foundation work of the central room of the shrine. The latter answered in the affirmative. Then Shama got the coconut broken there and started the work. In a due time, the work was completed and the order was also placed for making a good image of the Mullidhar. But before it was ready, a new situation turned up. Baba became seriously ill. Babu Sahib became very sad and dejected. thinking that if Baba passed away, this Vada would not be consecrated by the holy touch of Baba's feet, and all this money, about a lakh of rupees, would be wasted away. But the words "keep me in the Vada," which came out of Baba's mouth just before his passing away, consoled not only Bapu Sahib but one and all in due time. Baba's holy body was placed and preserved in the central shrine mean for Muldhidhar, and Baba himself became Muldhidhar, and the Vada thus became the Samadhi Mandir of Sai Baba. His wonderful Leela is unfathomable. Blessed and the fortunate is Bapusar Booty. In those Vada lies the holy and a pure body of Baba. More to Sri Sai, peace be to all. Sri Sachidananda Sadguru Sainath Maharaj ki jai. Sri Sachidananda Sadguru Sai Karnananda Maharaj ki jai. Sri Sachidananda Sadguru Jagat Guru Bal Yogiraj Sai Nara Maharaj ki jai. Sai Leelavati Mata ki jai. Om Sai Ram.